Hi, this is Mikey, as you would have known if you watched the first video. Today I'm going to talk to you a bit about my life so far, as in how I came to how I to be now, as in how I discovered that I'm transgender and such. Okay, well, I guess it all started when I was quite young. I was about probably 5 or 6 years old. I always remember playing with my friends in the playground at school, and whenever we played like make-believe games, as in like pretending to be parents with a child or anything like that, I always wanted to play the dad. I always wanted to be a male character, and obviously at the time nobody thought anything of it, but as I've got older and thought back to my childhood, I've realised that that was probably quite strange of me, but I guess it makes sense now. And I also, at that same age, had my first kiss with a girl. And at the time, I guess we knew it was kind of wrong in a way, since we used to hide away to do it, like go to the bathroom together or something. So we knew it was not the normal at the time, even though we were that young. And I guess that was the first time I started questioning my sexuality. Not consciously, but subconsciously, I was. And then, as I got a bit older, I don't know, I can't really remember much of the years after that, but then when I started secondary school, I started questioning my sexuality. I had my first girlfriend at the age of about, I think I was 13 or 14, and I dated her for about a year and a half. And at the time I weren't questioning my gender, I was just questioning my sexuality. But she broke up with me due to being unsure of her own sexuality, and after that I started questioning myself, because I was still attracted to males too, so I ended up figuring out that I was bisexual, which I was quite comfortable with for a while. But then something always still felt wrong. I suffered quite badly from depression because something didn't feel right in me. I knew I liked males and females, but I couldn't figure out for the life of me what was still wrong in my head. So as the years go on, I was getting bullied in school, and I had quite a lot of problems with depression, and I used to self-harm and such, which I still do occasionally, but nowhere near as badly as I used to. And eventually, when I came to sixth form, which was when I was about 16 years old, I started to discover that I wanted to be male. That I felt more comfortable referring to myself as a male and dressing in male clothes. And the first person I came out to was my friend Craig, who I'm still very, very good friends with now. He's still my absolute best friend, and I adore him. So I came out to him first. He accepted it straight away. He was bisexual himself, so it didn't bother him at all. But I kept it just between me and him. I didn't really tell anybody else. So he knew how I felt, and I actually came out to another friend at the end of school, and when I began college, that I'd known him since I started secondary school. I came out to him as well, and then while I was at college I started coming out a bit more. I told my boyfriend at the time, which he was a bit strange about it, and eventually it kind of broke us up. But I was coming out more and more, and through my teenage years I was starting to accept myself more and more as well as coming out to other people. I mean, finally figuring out what was making me feel wrong really gave me a confidence boost, even though it was difficult to deal with, and I couldn't quite understand why I was feeling that way, but at least at that point I knew what I was feeling. And then I stayed like that for quite a few years, really. I still occasionally wore female clothes because I was too scared to fully come out. But then, the older I got, the more comfortable I got wearing male clothes, and I slowly stopped wearing less female clothes until when I was 20, so, well, no, 19 actually, I think I was 19, I wrote a letter to my mom. Like, I live with her, but it was easier to write it down than speak to her. I wrote her a letter telling her that I was bisexual and that I felt like I should have been born as a man. She didn't speak to me for a few weeks. She didn't understand it. She didn't like it at all. She got very upset at me, and I think she just couldn't quite get her head around the fact that her daughter wanted to become her son. But eventually we sat down and spoke about everything and how I felt, and now she is very supportive of me. She is understanding more and more all the time and becoming a lot more supportive. I haven't worn female clothes since I was probably like 6 months into being 20, and now I'm 6 months into being 21, so I haven't worn female clothes in about a year now. I've been dressing fully as male, doing my hair male. My best friend and people I talk to online refer to me as male. They call me Michael or Mikey, which I absolutely love, though my family still refer to me with female pronouns and female name, but I am planning soon to sit down and talk to them about that and try and get them to change it. About a week ago, just over a week, I went and spoke to my dad, which me and my dad, we don't see each other very often and we're not very close, but he's part of my life, so I decided it was about time he knew more about me. So I went to him and I texted him beforehand, telling him I had something important to talk to him about. And when I got there, my aunt and uncle were there, so I had to wait a while, and as soon as they were gone, my dad came out and asked me what it was I wanted to speak about. So I told him about my depression, and I told him about my sexuality, and then I told him that I wanted to be a man. And he seemed a bit shocked at first, but I asked him how he felt about it, and he basically told me because he doesn't see me very often and I don't live with him, it's not a big problem, and as long as I'm happy and I'm doing what makes me happy, he will accept me for who I am, which I was quite surprised about because my dad in the past has come across as being slightly homophobic and such. So yeah, it was quite surprising, but a good surprise. I was quite happy about that. And then soon after that, I found out that my brother somehow already knew, and his girlfriend already knew. So I'm guessing he may have overheard conversations between me and my mom, but he obviously isn't bothered about it for the fact he hadn't even mentioned it to me. And I've been talking about my sexuality and my gender in front of my mom, my brother, his girlfriend, and my stepdad. I've been openly talking about it now, and they all seem to be quite fine with it. It doesn't seem to be any sort of a problem at all, which is really great, to be honest. Okay, the last thing I want to mention is where I am at the moment. Actually no, I've missed a bit. Okay, so once I started coming out to some of my friends and family, I decided to do some research on the internet about the effects of hormones and the surgery I'd undergo and how everything would work. Basically, all the physical things that will happen to me, of how I will change and the way I'm going to change and how long the process takes. And as I started researching, I started to side binding as well. I don't bind all the time because I find it very uncomfortable. Because I've got a large chest, I find it very, very uncomfortable to bind my chest. It hurts, but if I'm going out somewhere nice on a special occasion, I will bind to make me feel better and make me fit the part. And sometimes if I'm having a day where I feel particularly dysphoric about my body, I will bind to make me feel better. But I try not to do it so much because I don't really want to damage my ribs or anything. Okay, the last thing I want to speak about is what happened to me recently. I had waited 3 months for an appointment with a psychiatrist, like a gender specialist psychiatrist. And well, I went to see them, and after talking to them for less than half an hour, they diagnosed me as transgender, and they are applying for full funds for me, which will take up to about 6 weeks to come through. So that's like £70,000. I don't know what that is in dollars or anything. £70,000 in English money. And I will be referred to a clinic in Nottingham, where I will receive psychiatric help for 6 months. Then I will have hormone therapy and eventually operations. And it won't cost me a penny. It's really, really awesome, because if I couldn't get this, I would never be able to afford all the treatment. So it's pretty amazing. I'm so happy about that. So now I've just got to sit and wait to hear about my funds, which is going to be an anxious wait, but it's good. I'm very happy at the moment. Okay, so that's a little about me and how I discovered myself and where I am at the moment. I will make some more videos soon talking more about binding and packing and those sort of things. And I think I plan on doing a video explaining terms, as in like sexuality terms and gender terms, just so people, if they don't already know, they can understand a bit more about the terms I'm going to be using during these videos. And I don't know what else I'm going to speak about really, but I'll probably, I don't know, talk more about changes that I'm expecting with hormones and the surgeries I'm going to be going through, and I'll keep you guys updated when I find out about my funds and such. So that's it for now. I'm sorry that I got this up a bit later than I said I would in my first video, because I've had a lot going on the past few days. I'm looking after my grandma's little doggy, who is sleeping behind my laptop right now, and I recently got a bearded dragon lizard, but it's not very well, so I'm having to force feed it, which is taking up a lot of time, as well as looking after my hamster as usual, and my 4 cats and 2 other dogs. I'm very busy at the moment, but I thought I'd squeeze this in now while I've got a little bit of time to relax. Okay, so I hope you all enjoyed the video, and that you'll comment and subscribe and wait up for my next videos. If anybody has any questions they'd like to ask, they can ask me in comments or they can inbox me. I just hope that people enjoy watching this and it'll be some kind of educational or helpful. Well, that's it from me for now. I will make another video whenever I've got some bit more time. Whenever I've got a bit more time. God, I can't even speak sometimes. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Bye.